I do strongly believe in independent redistricting commissions. The problem with those people who have been hyper drawing their partisan districts, particularly in states that do not have independent redistricting commissions like Utah and Wisconsin, their Supreme Courts have struck down their maps. And as a result, in Wisconsin, for example, it looks like anywhere from maybe 2, perhaps 3 more Democratic seats may become available. There'll be more that will be competitive. In Utah, it looks like there will be at least 1 more Democratic district, particularly around like the Salt Lake City area. This is basically what's happening. And hopefully it will happen in other states. And I'm not just talking about states that are Republican. There may be Democratic states that have also highly hyper-partisan drawn districts. Illinois, I think, is one example. There, I'm not certain. I think New York has an independent redistricting commission. I'm not certain, but having these states, these maps being redrawn, because they are drawn in favor entirely of one party, because that's what happened in Utah, is that the voters voted to have better districts. And so these districts are being redrawn. Hopefully this is what will happen in all these other states that are now trying to redraw districts to protect Donald Trump from having to face the fact that he is violating multiple laws with ICE's behavior, with his deportation methods of sending people to other countries, with trying to, threaten states and cities through literally, bullshit prosecutions, and one over the other. If you go into the 17 articles of impeachment that Free Speech for the People have put forward, please, get out there and yes, support Proposition 50 in California, and other blue states have got to do this, because if the courts overturn those maps that are being illegally drawn to favor one party, then yes, the other party needs to redraw to match or exceed the group that is trying to redraw districts to basically wipe out the other party. The problem with that fundamentally that Republicans are going to have is that the reason why Democrats had so much power up until I think it was like the 1990s was because there are simply more human beings in blue states than in red states, and because of that, when they were doing these hyper drawings, Democrats simply outnumbered Republicans in these hyper partisan districts. California developed an independent redistricting commission under a Republican president of Arnold Schwarzenegger, which I actually agree with those maps being drawn that way, but we need to continue doing this. And so what it looks like, again, just to recap, Utah's going to get 1 more Democratic district before the 2026 election. It looks like Wisconsin is going to pick up 2, if not 3 more Democratic districts, and more competitive seats is what will happen in Wisconsin before the 2026 election, which is going to be a huge problem for Trump, because Utah and Wisconsin is enough to flip the House on those maps alone. So that's why they're redrawing them, because they know their districts are wrong, and they know that the people who are out there who are fighting these systems in court have developed a way of saying, listen, it's not about race, it's about partisanship and making districts that are hyper partisan. Not race, but partisanship. And because of that, they are winning those districts. They're winning those court cases, just like they won in Louisiana, just like what they won in Alabama, and I think it's Alabama, that had to create more seats. This is where you can have confidence going forward if you're a Democrat, like myself, that it looks like the maps will be drawn more fairer. And why, yes, you still need to vote Proposition 50, because Proposition 50 is really a trigger mechanism. If Texas is approved, California's map changes. If the Supreme Court in the state of Texas says that their map is unconstitutional, then California's map stays the same. It's just a triggering mechanism that if one party hyper-partisanly draws maps, then California changes its map. But if they end up being like what's happening in Utah and what is happening in Wisconsin, then the California map stays the way it is currently. So yes, go out there, vote Prop 50, because we need these things, but please understand, the people who are out there who are fighting against these hyper-drawn maps are winning. So have confidence that these maps will be overturned, but still vote to position ourselves to make certain that a president that is abusing his power has actually a check on his power. So go out there and vote. Thank you. Bye-bye. Like, share, subscribe.